I was trying to hide that I was homeless. I wasn't really trying to tell people I was homeless because I had to learn humility in that it's okay to ask for help.
20 years ago, I made millions and millions on TV. The sad part is the people who took care of the money spent it.
I have no worries myself, nor do I exhibit, or possess within my living stratus any reason why someone should worry.
Tiffany Haddish has just named 6 black actors who are actually dirt poor, and the reasons behind their poverty are more shocking than you think. Tiffany herself was homeless, living in her car after escaping foster homes where she was SA'd.
I feel like a feeling all through my body when I think about it, like how difficult that was, how scared I was.
Tatyana Ali went from Fresh Prince millionaire to struggling musician who couldn't get cast in anything.
Was I awake or was it just a...
Lark Voorhies battled schizophrenia while experiencing homelessness, having disturbing conversations with invisible figures during interviews.
The reunion is always being brought up and spoken about, so there's no doubt that that's about to occur.
Here are 6 actors who prove fame doesn't equal fortune. In 1978, a 10-year-old boy with an infectious smile and perfect comedic timing became America's sweetheart. Gary Coleman's portrayal of Arnold Jackson on Different Strokes made him the highest-paid child actor on television, earning $100,000 per episode at the height of his fame. His catchphrase, "What you talking about, Willis?" became part of American culture, and his trust fund was supposed to be worth up to $18 million.
What you talking about, Willis?
But when Gary turned 17 and tried to access his money, he discovered a devastating truth. Only $220,000 remained. His adoptive parents, Willie and Sue Coleman, had been systematically draining his earnings for years. They paid themselves excessive salaries, took unauthorized commissions, and treated their son's career like their personal ATM. The people who were supposed to protect him had stolen his childhood and his financial future.
20 years ago, I made millions and millions on TV. The sad part is the people who took care of the money spent it.
Gary sued his parents in 1989, a heartbreaking legal battle that exposed the dark side of child stardom. The case dragged on for years, ultimately settling for $1.3 million, a fraction of what should have been his. But even that victory felt hollow. The legal fees, taxes, and ongoing medical expenses from his kidney disease quickly consumed the settlement. By 1999, Gary filed for bankruptcy. The boy who had once commanded 6-figure salaries was working as a security guard, trying to make ends meet while dealing with chronic health problems that required expensive dialysis treatments 3 times a week. He had tried various ventures, including opening the Gary Coleman Game Parlor, an arcade business that failed spectacularly, costing him $200,000. The financial pressure never ended. In a desperate attempt to raise money, Gary partnered with an online auction site called Save Me, where he sold personal belongings, including his couch, autographed ice scrapers, and what he described as a tiny pimp suit with matching gold Nikes. The auction attracted more than $5,000 in bids, but it was a humiliating fall from the heights of his television success. Gary's health continued to deteriorate, and the medical bills mounted. On May 28, 2010, at just 42 years old, he died from a brain hemorrhage after falling down the stairs at his home. His net worth at the time of death was estimated at only $75,000. Todd Bridges, his Different Strokes co-star, later said that Gary had been exploited by greedy people who tend to just take money and steal things.
But what happened with Gary was they're able to take that money, move it from a trust to whatever they wanted to. They thought that they applied to the court to move that money from the trust to you can make it to where you can make more interest and more money. You can move it to another thing.
The boy who made millions of people laugh died broke, his fortune stolen by the very people who should have protected him. His story remains one of Hollywood's most heartbreaking examples of how fame and talent mean nothing without proper financial protection and trustworthy guardians. Up next, we have Lark Voorhies. In the early 1990s, Lark Voorhies was living every teenager's dream. As Lisa Turtle on Saved by the Bell, she was part of one of the most popular teen shows on television, beloved by millions of fans who watched her navigate high school alongside Zach, Screech, and the gang.
Lisa, when your father finds out, you are gonna get in trouble.
Oh, come on. I'm Daddy's mom.
After Saved by the Bell ended in 1993, Lark found herself facing the same challenge that confronts many child actors, transitioning from teenage fame to adult career success. The roles that had once come easily became scarce. Casting directors saw her as Lisa Turtle, making it difficult for them to envision her in other roles. But Lark was fighting battles that went far beyond typecasting. Behind the scenes, she was struggling with mental health issues that would eventually be diagnosed as schizoaffective thought disorder, a condition that combines symptoms of schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. For years, she suffered in silence as her condition went undiagnosed and untreated. The combination of a stalled career and untreated mental illness created a devastating spiral. Work became inconsistent, and when she did get roles, her condition sometimes made it difficult to perform at her best. The entertainment industry, notoriously unforgiving of any signs of instability, became even less welcoming. By 2012, Lark's struggles had become public. During interviews, she would stop mid-sentence, stare off into space, and appear to have conversations with unseen figures.
I have no worries myself, nor do I exhibit, or possess within my living stratus any reason why someone should worry.
Tabloids described her eyes as disturbingly vacant and noted her near-constant dialogue with unseen figures. The media coverage was often cruel, treating her mental health struggles as entertainment rather than recognizing them as symptoms of a serious medical condition. Her mother, Trisha Voorhies, revealed that Lark had experienced periods of homelessness and housing insecurity. The woman who had once been a household name found herself without stable housing, struggling to maintain basic necessities while dealing with a condition that made daily functioning extremely challenging. The financial impact was severe. Mental health treatment is expensive, and without consistent work, Lark couldn't afford the comprehensive care she needed. She lived with her mother, had few friends, and rarely drove far from home. The vibrant, confident young woman who had charmed audiences as Lisa Turtle had been replaced by someone who struggled to focus for even brief moments. In 2020, Lark finally received proper diagnosis and treatment. On Dr. Oz's show, she publicly revealed that she had been diagnosed with schizoaffective thought disorder, explaining how the condition had affected her ability to work and maintain relationships. With proper medication and therapy, she began to show improvement. The revelation led to a small role in the Saved by the Bell reboot on Peacock, marking her return to the franchise that had made her famous. It was a small step, but it represented hope, proof that with proper support and treatment, recovery was possible. Today, Lark continues her recovery journey, advocating for mental health awareness and working to rebuild her career. Moving on, we have Brandon Adams, who entered Hollywood as part of the golden age of 1990s family entertainment. As Jesse Hall in The Mighty Ducks and Kenny DeNunez in The Sandlot, he was part of two of the decade's most beloved sports films.
I mean, I'm getting sick of you, and I'm getting sick of seeing the USA represented by a bunch of whining babies. But too bad you can't back it.
But Brandon's story illustrates one of the entertainment industry's cruelest realities. Being part of successful ensemble casts doesn't guarantee individual success. While The Mighty Ducks grossed over $50 million, and spawned 2 sequels, and The Sandlot became a cultural touchstone. Brandon found that his association with these hits didn't translate into steady work as he aged out of child roles. The transition from child actor to adult performer is notoriously difficult, but it's especially challenging for young Black actors who often face limited opportunities in an industry that has historically offered fewer diverse roles. Brandon had shown his range early, appearing in everything from Michael Jackson's Moonwalker to Wes Craven's horror film, The People Under the Stairs. But as he entered his 20s, the phone calls became less frequent. Television guest spots on shows like The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Moesha, and Sister Sister provided some income, but these one-off appearances couldn't sustain a career or provide the financial security that his childhood success had seemed to promise. Brandon had experienced the highs of Hollywood success, but now he was experiencing the reality that most actors face: inconsistent work and financial uncertainty. What made Brandon's situation particularly challenging was that he had been working since he was a small child. Unlike many young people who can fall back on family support while building their careers, Brandon had been financially independent from an early age. The skills needed to navigate adult financial responsibilities, budgeting for irregular income, saving for lean periods, planning for long-term security, are difficult for anyone to master, but especially challenging for someone who had been working professionally since childhood. Brandon has spoken candidly about experiencing financial difficulties during the lean years between child stardom and finding his footing as an adult performer. Like many actors, Brandon took on work behind the scenes, exploring different aspects of the entertainment industry while waiting for his next break. He pursued music, recorded vocals for video games including Kingdom Hearts 2, and looked for ways to leverage his experience in the industry beyond just acting. Today, Brandon continues to work in entertainment, taking on projects that interest him while maintaining a more private life than during his childhood fame. His story serves as a reminder that Hollywood's success is often temporary, and that even actors associated with beloved classics can face real financial struggles as they navigate the unpredictable nature of the entertainment business. The boy who once scored goals for the Mighty Ducks learned that in real life, there are no guaranteed victories, only the ongoing challenge of building a sustainable career in an industry that can be as unforgiving as it is glamorous. Then there is Tatyana Ali, who spent 6 years as America's little sister. As Ashley Banks on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, she grew up in front of millions of viewers, transforming from a precocious child into a poised young woman while the cameras rolled. The show was a massive hit. Will Smith became a movie star, and everyone assumed that the entire cast would ride that success into financial security. But when The Fresh Prince ended in 1996, Tatyana discovered what many former child stars learned the hard way. Yesterday's television success doesn't guarantee tomorrow's paycheck. At 17, she found herself facing the same transition that challenges every young performer, moving from being a beloved child character to finding roles as an adult. The entertainment industry had a limited imagination when it came to casting young Black women. Executives struggled to see Ashley Banks as anything other than Ashley Banks. Auditions became exercises in frustration as casting directors tried to fit her into the same wholesome, innocent mold that had defined her television character. Tatyana had talent beyond acting. She could sing, and had showcased her vocal abilities on several episodes of The Fresh Prince. Will Smith himself had been impressed enough to encourage her to pursue music seriously. But launching a music career required resources and connections that weren't automatically available just because she'd been on a hit TV show. The financial pressures of this transition period were significant. Unlike established actors who could command high salaries based on their track record, Tatyana found herself competing for entry-level roles while trying to reinvent her image. The child actor pay scale that had sustained her during The Fresh Prince didn't extend into her adult career. She did manage to release an album, Kiss the Sky, in 1998, which went gold and produced the hit single Daydreamin'. The song reached number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100, proving that audiences were willing to accept her in a new role. But the music industry proved just as challenging to navigate as Hollywood, and sustaining a recording career required different skills and connections than television acting. The gap between her childhood success and adult career stability created financial uncertainty. Like many performers making this transition, Tatyana had to take whatever work she could find while building her adult reputation. Television guest spots, small movie roles, and music performances provided income, but nothing approached the steady, reliable paycheck that The Fresh Prince had provided. What separated Tatyana from some of her peers was her determination to control her own narrative. Rather than becoming bitter about the industry's limitations, she focused on developing her craft and seeking out projects that challenged her as a performer. She took on roles in soap operas like The Young and the Restless, appeared in independent films, and continued to pursue music. Eventually, Tatyana found her footing with shows like Love That Girl on TV1, where she could showcase her range as an adult performer. She also pursued education, attending Harvard University to study African American studies and government, demonstrating that she understood the importance of having skills and knowledge beyond entertainment. Today, Tatyana has successfully transitioned to an adult career, appearing in projects like the Bel Air reboot and various television movies. She's married, has children, and has built a stable life that extends beyond her childhood fame. Meanwhile, Elise Neal represents a different kind of Hollywood story. Not the meteoric rise and fall of a child star, but the steady struggles of a working actor trying to build a sustainable career in an industry that offers few guarantees. Throughout the late 1990s and early 2000s, Elise was a recognizable face in Black cinema, appearing in films like Scream 2, Hustle and Flow, and Logan, as well as television shows including The Hughleys and Half and Half. To audiences, Elise appeared to be thriving. She was working consistently, appearing alongside major stars, and building a solid resume in both film and television. But behind the scenes, she was experiencing the financial reality that affects most working actors. The constant uncertainty of not knowing when the next job will come or how long the current one will last. The entertainment industry creates a unique form of financial instability. Unlike traditional jobs with steady paychecks and predictable schedules, acting careers are built on a series of individual projects, each with its own start and end date. Even successful actors like Elise can experience significant gaps between roles, during which they must survive on savings while continuing to invest in their careers through headshots, coaching, and networking. For Black actresses, these challenges are compounded by an industry that has historically offered fewer opportunities. Elise often found herself competing for a limited number of roles specifically written for Black women, and even when she landed parts, the pay scales were often lower than what her white counterparts could command for similar work. Elise has been honest about the financial struggles that came with these employment gaps. Between roles, she faced the same challenges as any other working person dealing with irregular income: paying rent, covering health insurance, maintaining a car, and managing all the other expenses of daily life while not knowing when the next paycheck would arrive. The psychological toll of this uncertainty can be as challenging as the financial impact. Elise had to balance confidence in her abilities with the reality that factors beyond her control, market trends, casting directors' preferences, producers' vision, could affect her ability to work. Success in Hollywood requires enormous self-belief, but that confidence must coexist with the humility to audition for roles and accept rejection as part of the process. What made Elise's situation particularly challenging was that she was often working at a level just below true financial security. She wasn't unemployed. She was consistently getting roles and building a reputation as a reliable, talented performer. But she also wasn't earning enough from any single project to achieve long-term financial stability. This is the reality for thousands of working actors who appear successful from the outside, but are actually living project to project, never quite able to build the financial cushion that would allow them to be selective about roles or take breaks between projects. Elise's honesty about these struggles has been valuable for other actors facing similar challenges. By speaking openly about the financial realities of a working actor's life, she's helped normalize conversations about money in an industry that often pretends everyone is financially secure. Her experience also highlights the importance of diversification for working actors. Those who achieve long-term financial stability often develop multiple income streams: teaching, producing, directing, or investing in other businesses, rather than relying solely on acting roles. Despite the financial challenges, Elise continued to work steadily, building relationships in the industry and maintaining her reputation as a professional, talented performer. Her persistence paid off as she continued to land roles throughout different decades of her career, adapting to changes in the industry while maintaining her commitment to her craft. Today, Elise continues to work in both film and television, having successfully navigated the challenges that derail many actors' careers. Her story serves as a reminder that success in Hollywood isn't always about achieving A-list status. Sometimes it's about building a sustainable career that provides both creative fulfillment and financial stability. Her experience illustrates that even working actors who appear successful can face real financial struggles, and that longevity in the entertainment industry requires not just talent, but also financial savvy, persistence, and the ability to adapt to an ever-changing business. While the other stories demonstrate how quickly Hollywood success can turn to financial ruin, Tiffany Haddish's journey offers a different narrative, one of breaking generational cycles of poverty and building lasting financial security despite starting from the bottom. Tiffany's early life was marked by instability that would have broken many people. Born to a mother struggling with mental illness and an absent father, she entered the foster care system at age 13 when her mother's condition made it unsafe for the children to remain at home. The foster care system, which should have provided safety and stability, instead became another source of trauma. In foster homes, Tiffany experienced physical and SA.
I feel like a feeling all through my body when I think about it, like how difficult that was, how scared I was.
When she aged out of the foster system at 18, Tiffany faced the reality that confronts many former foster children: complete independence with no family safety net. She was homeless, living in her car in Beverly Hills, showering at gyms, and doing whatever it took to survive. For food, she would crash wedding receptions, giving impromptu speeches to couples she'd never met just to get a free meal. It was during this desperate period that Kevin Hart discovered she was living in her car. Instead of just offering sympathy, he gave her $300 and told her to find a place to stay for a week. He also encouraged her to write down her goals, a simple suggestion that would prove transformative.
And when Kevin gave me that money, you know, he was asking me where I was, and I told him what I was doing, and he was like, you shouldn't be a beautiful girl like you, shouldn't be sleeping in a car or anything like that. Get yourself a room.
Comedy became Tiffany's salvation. At 17, given a choice between psychiatric therapy or the Laugh Factory comedy camp, she chose comedy. It was there that she met Richard Pryor, who gave her advice that shaped her approach to performing. People don't want to hear about your problems. They want to laugh and have fun. But Tiffany understood something that many performers miss. Entertainment was her vehicle, but financial literacy would be her protection. Having experienced poverty and homelessness, she was determined never to be vulnerable again. When she started earning money from The Carmichael Show, she didn't increase her lifestyle expenses. Instead, she continued living on $500 a month while banking everything else. "I started trying to figure out how to create generational wealth," she explained. "The fastest way to do it, and the first way you should go about doing it, is buy some land." Against everyone's advice, she bought a house after the first season of The Carmichael Show, even though people told her to wait. When Girls Trip made her a movie star, earning her approximately $80,000, Tiffany did something that shocked her advisors. She used the entire check to pay off her house. "People told me to spend it in other ways, but I used it to pay off the house because I was always afraid of being homeless again." This decision revealed the trauma-informed wisdom that guides Tiffany's financial choices. Having experienced housing insecurity, she prioritized shelter above all else. Owning her home outright meant that no matter what happened in her career, she would always have a place to live. But Tiffany's financial wisdom goes beyond just securing shelter. She continues to live modestly despite her success, maintaining the spending habits that helped her survive when she had nothing. She's invested in real estate, built multiple income streams, and created the She Ready Foundation to help other foster youth avoid the traps that nearly destroyed her. "Now I have a surplus of money, but I'm still afraid of being poor again," she admits. This healthy fear keeps her grounded and prevents the kind of lifestyle inflation that has derailed other celebrities' finances. Today, Tiffany is worth millions, but more importantly, she's built a sustainable career and financial foundation that can withstand the unpredictable nature of the entertainment industry. She's proven that with the right mindset, support system, and financial discipline, it's possible to go from living in your car to owning multiple properties and building generational wealth. Tiffany Haddish didn't just become successful, she became a model for how to build lasting financial security while helping others avoid the traps that destroy so many talented performers. Her story proves that while Hollywood can be cruel to those who don't protect themselves, it's possible to use success as a foundation for permanent security rather than temporary gratification. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.